Google Pixel 4 and Pixel 4 XL was Google's flagship devices which launched in 2019, bringing an all-new sleek design with two rear-facing cameras for the first time. It also got rid of the notch from the Google Pixel 3 XL. In today's video, we are going to find out if it's still a worthy contender in the smartphone market. Let's get right into it. Perfect. First off, let's talk about the design. The Pixel 4 XL has a very nice and unique feel to it. The matte back glass finish paired with the aluminum size give it a very unique and premium feel. It feels very great in the hand, and overall, the design, I'll give it a 10 over 10. It's not as flashy as phones we get nowadays, but I think it still holds up pretty well. Let's move on to the next point. Moving on to the display, the Google Pixel 4 XL has a 6.3 OLED display from Samsung. It's very nice. It's a big size, obviously. 6.3 inch is not a small device. Colors are vibrant and the blacks are deep. And one thing I will also say is that this phone has a 90Hz display, which makes browsing very nice and smooth. It also makes things like gaming a breeze on this phone because of the 90Hz refresh rate. When you are playing games like Call of Duty or something, it makes it feel very fast and smooth. Now the pixel density on this phone, I'm going to put it on the screen right here so that you guys can see. The screen is very sharp and crisp, so when you are browsing the internet or watching content, you can't see individual pixels on it, which is a really nice thing to know. The display is really crisp, which makes it nice for consuming content. Let's move on to the next point. Now let's talk about one of the Pixel standout features, the cameras. This phone has a 12.2 megapixel main camera with a 16 megapixel telephoto lens. And the photos taken on this device are pretty nice and crisp. It has lots of detail and the colors are also very nice and vibrant. I took some pictures of some trees and some flowers, which you guys can see. And when it comes to the portrait capability on this phone, I'd say this phone has one of the best cameras in the industry because with the blur you get on the portrait pictures is very nice edge detection and all of that. So the cameras on this device are pretty good. Talking about the cameras, let's check out the front camera. The front camera is also very nice. It has very nice details when you take pictures with it. And on this phone, we actually have two cameras on the front. We have a wide angle camera and a normal camera. The normal camera is actually pretty wide, I would say. It's pretty wide, but we also have a wide angle so that, you know, if you want to take some group photos or something, you can do that. So overall, the cameras on this device are very nice. This phone was launched 4 years ago, but it still has amazing camera quality. You know, this phone stacks up to the competition. You can even compare it to the newer iPhones, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the 13 and all that, and this will still hold up pretty well. MKBHD actually did a video comparing smartphone cameras to see which one is the best, and the Pixel 7 and the 7a got the first and second position. So that tells you a lot about Google's camera and the software they use. The back camera takes a video of 4K 30 frames per second, and you can also change it to 1080p at 60 frames per second. I'm actually going to take a quick video sample right here to show you guys. So this is the video of the Google Pixel 4 XL, the back camera, currently recording at 4K 30 frames per second, as you guys can see. So this is the video sample on the Google Pixel 4 XL. The front camera at 1080p 60 frames per second. So tell me what you think of the video quality down in the comment sections below. Now talking about the software, the Google Pixel 4 gets the stock Android update. Now currently, as of shooting this video, it is running on the Android 13 update. And the Android 14 is yet to be released, but it's not released right now. Now, one thing I would say is that this device will not be able to get the Android 14 update because it was launched 4 years ago. And I would say that Google have done a pretty good job of supporting this device with updates since it was launched. This may seem as a deal breaker to people, but it's really not, considering it has the Android 13 update, which is still very current, and it supports a lot of apps we use in our day-to-day lives like Snapchat, Instagram, and a whole lot of that. Whilst we are talking about the software, I'm going to bring it over to the front right here. And on the top right here, we have a set of cameras. Now what's interesting about these cameras is that we have a dedicated camera for our Face ID, which Google introduced only on the Pixel 4. I don't know why they've discontinued it, but for some reason they have. The Face ID on this phone was perfect. It is literally better than Apple's Face ID. The dedicated camera we have on here, you can also access it with this app called Open Camera. Now when you download this Open Camera and you open it, you can be able to access your Face ID camera and you can see it. Like you can use it like how you would use your normal camera to take photos and stuff, which is pretty cool. I don't know why Google discontinued this Face ID feature, but Google, please bring it back. We love this feature. Let's move on to the next point. Now let's talk about the speakers on this device. It has one speaker on the bottom and also one at the top right here. Now these two speakers work together to provide the stereo experience. So the bottom one is actually the loudest one. So when you are, listening to music or consuming content and you cover the one on the bottom, you can hear the sound from the one on the top, but the one on the top is not very loud, So, these two speakers, very nice. They sound very, very good. I tried, I use it to listen to music all the time and they sound very good considering this device was launched 4 years ago. It still has speakers that are, better than even some of the devices that are being launched today. So that's it for the speakers. Let's move on to the next point. Under the hood, this phone sports the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset. 4 years ago, when this phone was released, it was the latest and greatest, but coming now in 2023, it's not the latest and greatest anymore, although it's still not a bad performing processor. This processor paired with the 90Hz display we have on here, it makes the phone feel very smooth and fast. You can even compare it to devices like the S23 Ultra and it's still not gonna feel slow. Now the processor we have in here, it's a flagship processor, so when you use it for stuff like gaming, I actually play some Call of Duty Mobile on here and it runs it very nice and smooth. There are some apps that have been released that require a lot of processing, like some of those AI apps we see on the internet. I've tested some of those apps on here, and although when this phone heats up a little bit, it might, lag some 1 or 2 times, but overall it still does pretty good. So I would say, and this phone beats some of the mid-range devices that are being launched in 2023, and it was launched 4 years ago. So that's it for the processor. Let's move on to the battery. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The Pixel 4 XL has a 3700 mAh battery, and to be honest, it's trash. This is my Samsung Galaxy A32, a budget smartphone from Samsung, and it has a 5000 mAh battery. I will say that, since the Pixel 4 launched, many devices which have come after that have bigger batteries, and the phone has been well optimized, to handle those apps. So even if the phone has a smaller battery like this one, the apps have been well optimized so that it will last longer than this. But based on, my usage with this phone and all the testing, the battery life on this phone is not very good. I mean, it's trash. It does not last very long. Whenever I'm going out and I bring it with me, I have to bring a power bank so that it doesn't die on me. If you are in the market for one of these devices, I would recommend you consider the Pixel 4 XL instead of the regular Pixel 4. So should you consider the Google Pixel 4 XL in 2023? Well, except the battery life, everything on this phone is very, very good. We have a nice design, which still looks very modern and is different from devices we have out there. We have very, very good camera, which performs amazing. We have a very nice display, and we also have the immaculate Face ID, which launched with this phone. And we also have amazing speakers that sound very good. So in my opinion, I would say this phone is the best bang for your buck you can get out there, except the battery. If you can bring a power bank with you everywhere you go, it still holds up pretty well. So that will be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like and comment the fire emoji down below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.